Our hot take: Michigan will beat Ohio State for the third straight year. Chris, what are your thoughts, you Michigan-loving son of a buck?
It's going to happen. It's going to happen, Ohio State fans. You bucknuts can sit down. It's going to happen. Michigan has got J.J. McCarthy back. I know everybody thinks he's trash. No, but they got Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, Jim Harbaugh. Couldn't get to the NFL because the NFL told him, nah, it's, you know what, I'm coming back. He's going to win it again. Michigan's their daddy, dude. I've been saying it. I've been seeing some comments. Crixus, who's on here, but I got to laugh. Guy keeps telling Ohio State fans Michigan's their daddy. I love it, dude. I'm very high on Michigan this year. I'm not going to take my foot off the pedal on this one, Christian. It happens. And honestly, guys, in all seriousness, it comes down to Ohio State brings back, I think, 13 starters. Michigan brings back 14, I believe. Believe it or not, Nebraska brings back the most starters out of the Big Ten. Watch out for them this year. No, true story, though. I think it comes down to Ohio State and their question mark at quarterback. Michigan knows what they got in McCarthy. I know they got their ass beat by TCU in that bowl game. I get it. Or the playoff game. I get it. I just see, and Michigan is at home, the big house, Christian. And that's where I think they got that advantage. They're going to run the football. And my God, Ohio State fans, please, if you see this, please tell me why you guys give up 300 yards rushing and look so soft on freaking defense every time you play Michigan. I will leave it at that, Christian. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear Ohio State fans' thoughts in the comments, please. Please tell me why I don't know what I'm talking about, because every year I've watched, especially the last 2-3 years, Ohio State cannot stop Michigan running right between the A-gap. Just can't.
Oh, man. You done?
Yeah, I need to take a drink there, dude. And I know where you're going with this, and that's good, bro. That's good. I want to hear what you got to say, man.
We do not see eye to eye on this. Listen, Chris, I'm going to say this, and I think we'll agree on this. If Ryan Day, if he loses to Michigan this year for the third year in a row, and he can't make the playoffs, he's going to be on, this isn't even a hot take, he's going to be on the hottest seat in all of college football, in all of America, right?
I agree. What's Ryan Day done other than go 10-2 or 11-1 or whatever? He can't. He's getting his ass beat by Michigan, and he had a chance to beat Georgia last year. That came down to him, by the way, at the end of that game. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Everybody wants to place the blame on the kicker. You watched that game just as much as I did. Go ahead, though, Christian. Tell me why the hell I'm wrong this year, and Ohio State apparently is winning the Big Ten.
All right. Well, listen, I will concur with you on a couple things here, right? Michigan does get back a ton of talent, and they get back returning quarterback J.J. McCarthy. They get back one of the best running back groups in America. But look, dude, here let's talk about this, right? Ohio State has the better receivers and is more of a threat to light them up. While Michigan will look to chew the clock and lean on that defense to win this game, right? Michigan's defense last year ranked 6th in total defense, while Ohio State ranked 14th. But Ohio State gave up 45 points to Michigan last year in this game.
Yeah.
With all that out of the way here, I believe Ohio State's front seven will be much, much better this year and have more experience. You know, Chris, not only are they getting a lot back there, they're also getting a good bit of their secondary back too, right? So you're going to hopefully not give up 45 points to Michigan this year because of that. Jim Knowles will have a much better on that side of the ball. He's going into year 2. Last year was his first year. We forget that. Jim Knowles, hell of a defensive coordinator. Going into his second year, that's where we see the biggest, for me, that's where you see the biggest change as far as on-the-field plays from year 1 to year 2 from coordinators, I feel as if. They have a running back room, Chris, that can compete with Michigan, and I did say compete, all right? Michigan might have, on paper, one of the best running back groups in America. Ohio State's not very far behind them. They got Mayan Williams and Travion Henderson. Both extremely talented guys who could play anywhere in America. If they put their name in the portal today, they could go play anywhere in America, no questions asked. Chris, you are probably going to sit here and say the quarterback play, right? I'm not worried about it. Look, Ryan Day has shown. I know I brought up some question marks about it, but here's the thing: he's shown me that he can manage quarterbacks and get the most out of them. Has he not?
Yeah, he's done a good enough job, but what you're not addressing is the Charmin-like defense that he has put up. I mean, all you guys got to do is look at the second half of this game last year, 28-3 in the second half. Michigan ran for almost 200 yards in the second half last year, and he's done this before, Christian.
Yeah, but Chris, let me just stop you right there.
I can't.
What year is it? What year is it?
I know what year it is, but what makes you think that all of a sudden now Ryan Day, the last couple years, he's a good coach, but he ain't done nothing. He ain't done nothing that Ohio State fans hold this guy to like the highest of standards, man. I need to see it. I actually think, Christian, I will agree with you. I know it's 2023, but Michigan isn't getting any worse this year. I can tell you that. Right?
No, I'm not saying they're going to get any worse, but I think Ohio State can get much better on defense. Again, you look at the talent they have on the defensive side of the ball, Chris, and especially in that front seven, dude. It is really good. I know we're saying secondary isn't going to be much better if Michigan rushes for over 300 yards. Daniel says that, right? Here's the thing. You go look at Ohio State's defense, right? They've got household names on both the defensive line and in the linebacking room, right? That are probably going to be really high picks next year. I'm going to say this right now. They will keep Michigan's run game in check this year. They've had to hear about this. They've had to watch the game tape for 2 years now and get absolutely embarrassed by that. If Ryan Day, and we're touching on this, right? And I'm going to give you some more stats here at the end. They will get. They're going to have to figure a way out to do this year, right? They have to, because they know that they don't have Justin Fields or C.J. Stroud coming back. They know that they know in a lot of these games they're not probably going to be the same light you up team. They're going to have to run more on their running backs.
Okay, and that's great. Here's my problem. I don't think Ohio State or Ryan Day has been focused on. All I keep seeing in the headlines is Ryan Day bitching about Ohio State, bitching about the hash marks because they're not like the NFL. I don't know what the hell this guy's been focusing more on fucking excuses from the typical Ohio State man that I hear, and or it trickles down from this guy, dude. I'm serious, bro. You could sit there and nod your head and stare over at your Georgia banners and bask in the glory. But my point is, Christian, he's not been talking about. You should be focused more on that. How to stop Michigan, how to beat Jim Harbaugh finally. And I know it had happened previously, but Michigan's been kicking their ass. Especially, it's not even been close the last 2 years. Really hasn't. I don't see it this year. I do not. And it's not like they have Justin Fields back there at quarterback. They sure as shit don't have C.J. Stroud this year. You're banking on Kyle McCord, and I'm not saying Kyle McCord is a bad quarterback, but I'm not as sold on their offense this year.
Yeah.
I sure as hell ain't sold on their defense until I see it and they come out and I guess dominate up. And the great thing about this game, Christian, to go on a serious note and here, quit yelling into my mic because you got me all fired up here. Talking some Big Ten football. This game's played at the end of the year. These two teams should be at the peak when they play each other, I would assume.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, you talk about Ryan Day and him making a big thing about the hash marks here, and I can't believe, as a Georgia fan, I am actually sticking up for the Ohio State man here, but I'm going to do it, damn it. And listen, you talk about what Ryan Day is worried about. Well, let's just be really honest here. Jim Harbaugh, he's more concerned about getting to the NFL, you stooge. He wants to go to the NFL so bad, okay? He wants to go to the NFL so bad. He might be in for a complacent year. He keeps doing it every offseason. We keep, all the Michigan fans keep having about a 3-week period or a month-long period where they're wondering what NFL team is Jim Harbaugh going to apply to today.
Well, apparently he's not going to any because every NFL team has gave him the big middle finger. So now he just, Michigan fans need to embrace that and say, you know what? This guy keeps beating Ohio State, and that's really all we want every year, Christian. I don't know what you're smoking down there. I know you guys down south do some different types of drugs I've been hearing. So I know you Georgia guys like to drive super fast. I don't know what you guys do,
Chris,
but you act like Ohio State is just going to run rampant over the Big Ten this year, and I think you're losing your mind.
Chris, first of all, I'm in the Midwest now, son. You know that. So we're not down south anymore. All right. Don't worry about what I'm doing or what I'm not doing here. Listen, this is the last piece of evidence I need for you, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this to bed. Right? It's past your bedtime, son. Not just because you're old as shit, but because I've let this go on long enough. Here's the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry according to Wikipedia. Right? Let's look at this, Chris. You know, the last time Michigan has won more than 3 games in a row against Ohio State in this rivalry?
This year. It's going to start this year. Don't worry. Write it down.
No. Historically, you're a big fan of history. Don't tell me you're not. Historically, we bet a lot of stuff on this stuff, right? Vegas does, we do, I do, you do, right? When's the last time, Chris?
I know it's been a long time. I understand that.
Let me give you an exact year.
I didn't know we're talking about the past. I didn't know that this was something. I didn't know.
What do you mean? We're literally talking about the past. Everything we're talking about happened in the past.
No. We're talking present day. We're talking about 2-3 years ago. Now you're going back to the 80s and the 90s. Yeah, we know Michigan kicked the shit out of Ohio State then. We all know that. And Ohio State has dominated most of the 2000s. I'm not disagreeing with you. But Jim Tressel isn't there. Urban Meyer isn't there. Ryan Day, I don't think, is even on the stage of those two personally. That's just me. I don't as a coach. And all of a sudden now you're just sitting here thinking that Ohio State. Now guess what, guys? Next week, Christian's title coming out. Ohio State runs the table this year. Repeat against Georgia in national title and beats him against his own team. That's what's coming out next.
No. I'm not going that far with it. But listen, here's what I will say though. In 1997, last year that the Michigan beat Ohio State for 3 years in a row. Chris, we're a long way from the 90s. You guys were getting ready to. Yeah, I think a couple years prior to that, you guys were coming off back-to-back national championships.
Yeah. Well, 3 out of 4 back then, but that don't mean shit. Even I don't talk about it because it's been so long ago. No modern day kid knows that anymore. I think you're crazy, man. Put it to bed, though. I think time is going to tell. This Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, I will say this is good for college football. Michigan has needed to win the last 2 to make this thing a rivalry of late because, yes, you're not wrong. Ohio State has been kicking the shit out of them in this past decade and a half. I will agree with that. The stats don't lie there.